There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to episode 103 of SYFY Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the SYFY channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean, Fangirl S, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 9 of season 2 of Wynonna Earp. Holy crap, holy. Alright, I know I keep saying that, but because they keep going up and up and up, and I'm like, I think I swore a lot during this episode.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of that going on, for sure.
So let's get to ratings news, Steve.
Alright, episode 10 brought in a 0.12 in adults 18 to 49. With 0.473 million viewers, dropping us to 80th overall cable show for the night. I guess a lot of people had plans for that Friday night.
But we didn't get any Live Plus 7 to see how it jumped up, because I have a feeling with as many people as are tweeting, and even several days later, that a whole lot of people watch this.
Yes.
How many more episodes do we have? This is episode 10.
Right. I think we got 2.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Yes, we're almost at the end of season 2 for Wynonna.
At least we know we're getting another season.
Yeah, thank God, because at the end of this one, I don't know where they're taking this.
Oh my gosh, I know. Okay, so before we jump there, let's start at the beginning.
All right, episode 10, I See a Darkness. No kidding. The team may not be able to save one of their own after a deadly run-in with the widows.
These widows.
Yeah, let's just make it short and sweet.
Right, these widows.
Yeah. Seal, who's got the seal? Well, Mercedes is at Nicole's and she attacks her thinking she has the seal as her Clutie husband's rings are pointing towards the law.
Oh my gosh, that's what we seen at the end of last episode.
Right.
But obviously things aren't quite right.
No. And as Mercedes and Nicole are battling, Waverly arrives and goes all ninja on Mercedes.
She broke whatever. I don't know what it was, but...
Boom or something.
Yeah, because she was practicing with, like, the sticks last episode. Or was it the one before that? Can't remember. So I'm like, alright, at least they're bringing that into play. But so close, man.
Yes, Waverly does a pretty good job on her, but finally Mercedes gets her cornered and Nicole jumps on her back, which allows Mercedes the opportunity to take a bite out of Nicole's arm, and Waverly is not fast enough to stop Mercedes from escaping.
You know, these widows are awful bitey.
Yes, they are. And if you get bit, it usually doesn't turn out well.
No. Ask Juan Carlos.
Yeah, and never any good news at the hospital. First at the hospital, Wynonna and Nedley are walking down the hallway as Nedley grants our Earp gunslinger his blessings to do what she has to do to prevent the apocalypse.
Yeah. And he's like, just get this over with.
Whatever it takes, do it. And you kind of go, that's kind of curious that Wynonna and Nedley would be discussing this.
I thought so too, but I mean, I guess since he's known that there's been a lot of crap going on, that he's going to be her go-to guy for now.
Right. And he asked her to kind of keep him up to date on what's going on. So apparently she was. And we see Wynonna paying what's left of the real Mercedes a visit in the hospital, who's lying unconscious in the hospital room, her face completely covered, which makes sense given that she doesn't have one.
That's true. There's nothing there.
Right. And Dolls comes in and, of course, tells her that he found the real Mercedes and Beth in the basement of their home. And unfortunately, or fortunately, Beth did not survive. Mercedes is barely hanging on by a thread, and Dolls vows to track down a pair of Twizzlers for our hungry mama-to-be.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. She's like, can you believe it? No candy machine in this entire place. It's like, okay, that's weird, but okay.
Yeah.
So she's moved on from Greek yogurt, apparently.
Right. Depends on what time of day. We see Waverly bringing in Nicole, who's wavering in and out of consciousness, of course. And once the doctors take Hot away, Waverly, overcome with emotion, collapses into her big sister's arms. Because this comes out of nowhere for Wynonna, and wow.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, they knew the widows were bad news, but had no idea that they were possibly tracking other members of the Scooby Gang.
Exactly. And, of course, Waverly is so panicked, she basically lets everything out. She tells Dolls and Wynonna about her kissing Rosita, and then she confesses that Rosita is a revenant, just on and on and on. It's like, Waverly, shut up.
She doesn't know when to stop talking.
No, she doesn't.
I mean, I love Waves, but you didn't figure that out when you accidentally told Doc that he might not be the daddy.
Right.
You need to stop talking sometimes. But she's overcome. And did Dolls know? Do you think Dolls knew at that moment? Because Wynonna and Dolls looked at each other, and Dolls is kind of like, not here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, after Waverly describes what Mercedes wanted with Nicole, that's when we get the look between Dolls and Wynonna is, yeah, this is not good. And of course, Wynonna turns around and tells Waverly that only she knows where the third seal is. And you kind of go, oh, you might not have want to said that either, Wynonna.
Right? Because Waverly's not in a good position right now.
No, and that definitely, shall we say, starts the possible building of a wall between them.
Yes.
And Doc pulls Wynonna aside and lets her know how Juan Carlo really died, which was a bite from the widows. The venom from the bite usually spreads quickly and unbelievably painfully. And Dolls gives Nicole 2 or 3 hours tops.
Which means we gotta put our lead shoes on and, like, seriously, get this going.
Yeah. So, of course, Waves heads out for some fresh air where Beth is waiting for her.
Oh, Beth.
Yeah. Tantalizing our Waverly with the prospect of a cure for Nicole, but only if the youngest Earp can procure the third seal.
Yeah, well, at this point, Waverly's like, this ain't happening.
Right.
I can't get it. You're not getting it. Forget you.
Yes. But it hasn't gotten serious yet as far as Waverly knows.
Right.
Now, of course, while that's going on, Wynonna went in to see Nicole, who is now awake, and she is in excruciating amount of pain and can feel the venom spreading. You kind of go, not good.
Right. It's like, oh, do something. Make it stop.
Yes, please. And of course, Nicole makes Wynonna promise to pull the plug if things go south. She doesn't trust Waverly to let her die, but Wynonna could make that call with a clear headspace, and Waverly would forgive her sister.
That has got to be the worst thing that you can do right there. You're asking somebody to make this possible decision, knowing that it would basically, like, kill the other person emotionally, too.
Yes.
Oh, that's so hard.
Yeah, that was brutal. Brutal, but I can totally understand why Nicole did it, because she knew Waverly will not let her go.
Right. And Waverly pretty much says this when she does come in and talks to Nicole.
Right.
Because
Wynonna agrees to honor Nicole's wishes. And of course, Waverly pops in before the doctors put her under and vows to save her. And of course, Nicole confesses that she's never loved anyone as much as she loves Waves.
And I think we all got teary-eyed.
Yeah, just a little.
Especially because she's like, no, we're not doing this. We'll do all our I love yous and I'm sorry's when you wake up. It's fine. Right. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That's just like the kiss of death.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, crap. We're losing her. And this whole time, Miss Emily has been screwing with us, and it's really coming now.
Right. Yeah. All season she's been teasing us with this.
That's what I was thinking, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, out of nowhere, Jeremy appears, ready to Jeremy it up. He is currently working on a serum that protects against the widow's freeze powers. Now, of course, that gets put on hold as he needs to create an anti-venom serum to save Nicole. He can do it. He just needs a sample of the actual widow's venom.
Whoa, that's super easy, I'm sure.
Right. New task. We have a couple of hours to actually get some widow's venom.
Okay, you I gotta say this, because Wynonna's like, alright, I gotta find Doc. And I love the line that she uses here, because, they're like, alright, I gotta find Doc, because he can find the widows. And Waverly's like, wasn't it Waverly? Yeah, how are you so sure? And,
right.
Oh my god. He's like, he can find a dildo in a nunnery. Yeah. And I was dying. I literally barked out with laughter because I'm like, I cannot believe that they just said that.
Right.
And that had to be one of the best lines. Seriously, that was such a good line this episode. So kudos, writer's room, because I think you had us all like, holy crap, I can't believe they said that.
Yeah. A little tension release there.
Yeah.
Literally.
Definitely. Oh, man.
Wynonna goes to find Doc, who's embroiled in a card game at Shorty's with the Revenant. And Doc seemed to know this guy fairly well, and I don't know if it was one that Wynonna had put down previously.
I'm guessing no, because I think she would have had a different look on her face.
Right. Now, of course, she disrupts the card game by pulling out Peacemaker and almost takes out the Revenant, who definitely knows who she is. So, yeah, I guess it still might be one that she hadn't put down yet.
I'm sure they all know.
Yeah, but of course Doc stops her. Now, it was interesting that Doc was pretty annoyed at being interrupted. No. But as soon as Wynonna mentions what has happened to Nicole, he jumps to it quickly.
Now, do you think it's because he was trying to find out why the Revenant wanted to go into the basement so badly?
He could have been.
I'm just wondering.
It was kind of hard to get a feel for what Doc was actually after in that whole conversation.
I think it was interesting, though, too, that as soon as she's like, Nicole's been hurt, we need you. And he's like, okay, let me grab my hat.
Right.
And again, I don't know if it's kind of that protective stance because, Nicole is just a person, a human person, no extra special anything. She kind of got dragged in inadvertently, and I'm wondering if Doc feels some guilt there, too.
Very possibly. And he knows Waverly loves her, so.
That's true.
And speaking of Waverly, she is visited a second time by Widow Beth, or Widow Not Beth. And Beth is just checking in on Waverly's progress. Of course, Waverly's not worried about the third seal at this point in time. But of course, Beth has come prepared, and she has a little vial that she waves in front of Waverly, stating that it's the cure.
Now, can you really trust her, though?
Oh, hell no. You can't trust anybody in her. Period. End of discussion.
That's very
Not
true.
a single one. You trust the Scooby Gang, and that's it. Now, we're about to get hit with our first WTF moment as Nedley approaches Waves and offers his sympathy in a way that only Nedley can. And then he reveals that Nicole's next of kin has been informed.
Yeah, this was interesting, especially when Waverly's like, she doesn't talk to her parents. Like,
right.
I didn't call her parents. And it felt like everybody was like, what?
What? Yeah. What's going on here? So, of course, Waverly heads into the hospital and finds a mysterious woman standing by Nicole's bed, perusing her records. This lady reveals that she's the doctor, but not Nicole's doctor. She introduces herself as Shay and drops the bomb that she's Nicole's wife.
Which was a big, what?
Yeah.
Everybody had that collective, question mark over their face. It's like, wait a minute.
Twitter blew up.
I'm so mad I did not get to watch this happen.
Live, yes. Oh my God, it went way hot, went ballistic. Believe me.
But Shay does tell the story to Waverly after a little while. I mean, we don't know how much time's passed. I'm assuming it's not very long, but she's like, oh, we met rock climbing in Nevada. It was crazy and it was fast and there were sparks and we got a quickie wedding in Vegas. And they're like, what? What?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Say, does that sound like something Nicole would do?
It just doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. And you kind of scratch your head and go, okay. I guess we'll have to go with that because that just does not seem like the Nicole we know now.
Right. But
maybe she had a wild period like Wynonna did.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe, she had, before she decided to kind of button down and become the law.
Right.
She was a wild child. But Shay does say, listen, it was crazy and it was quick, but the sparks died just as fast and there was nothing. And she's like, it's nothing for you to worry about. She loves you. But why does she know that she loves Waverly? Did she send her something to have the marriage annulled or a divorce or however, depending on the time frame that they were married?
Right. And why would Nicole even tell Shay about Waverly?
At first I wasn't sure. And then I'm thinking that has to be it, that we're going to find out that.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. If she was definitely planning on being serious with Waverly, then yeah, she would have to be divorced from Shay. So yeah, that's probably why Shay knows about it, is that Nicole contacted her about actually getting a divorce.
Because that is the only reason I feel like Nedley would have any idea.
Well, Nedley would know just basically from her application. Because when you start filling out medical paperwork and stuff like that, you've got to list next of kin and emergency contacts and stuff like that. So that was before she really
that's true.
knew Waverly. So of course it would be Shay.
Oh, crazy though.
Yes. So now we move on to Venom. Who's got the venom? So Dolls pays Ewan and the Order a visit, hoping to get some venom from Juan Carlo's body.
Oh, God, I wanted to slap the guy so hard.
Yes, unfortunately, they had just burned it to crispy critters.
And then there was a few other people that were bitten, but of course the same thing.
Right.
They're like, well, they deserve to not be poisoned and all blah, blah, blah. He's like, dude, you totally screwed us.
Yeah.
And this is when I got worried because they had mentioned about the baby.
Right. And taking care of it.
And how so many people are going to be coming for the baby. It's like, wait a minute. Why are you guys so, adamant about this baby now?
Right.
And that kind of started having me worried, especially when Ewan offers Doll the plate that was this weird commemorative plate that they fought over a few episodes back. He's saying it's a weapon. Nobody knows what it is. It's like, yeah, we'll make sure we protect the baby because we'll take the baby in.
Right. And you go, that's not going to set too well with Wynonna, I don't believe.
That was a big question mark moment for me, too.
Right.
Why is he just like, oh, don't worry, we'll take the baby? Why?
Yeah.
What weird prophecy do you know?
Exactly. There definitely got to be something that they know that they aren't letting anybody else in on their secret.
That's what I was thinking.
About the baby. Yes. I totally agree with you there. Yeah, they have to have some other motive than just, oh yeah, we'll take the baby and raise it and protect it and all this. No.
I have my I'm judging you look face right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's go back to the bar for a minute, shall we?
Yeah, so while Doc's getting his hat, Wynonna decides to have a little chat with Rosita as she nonchalantly places Peacemaker on the bar and the barrel lights up.
Oh, I was like, oh crap. What's happening?
Right. Is Wynonna going to take Rosita out right then and there? And you go, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Wynonna. Well, she tells Rosita to go help Jeremy create an anti-venom serum for Nicole. And she tells Rosita she likes her, and she'll be the last revenant she puts down.
Well, I mean, they've got to know what the curse is, right? That the
Right.
only way to break the curse is when every last revenant is dead permanently by Peacemaker.
Right.
So, I mean, it sucks.
Right. And yeah, this could be a very sticky future episode if it comes down to it.
But I don't know if you noticed, like, at one point, Peacemaker kind of was fizzling in and out when it was pointing at Rosita.
Right.
So, what does that mean? That even Peacemaker's at odds?
Very possible. Because Rosita is not a evil revenant.
Right. And we found
She
out.
was just in the wrong
Yes.
place at the wrong time.
Which is weird because so was Bobo, though.
Right.
So now it's like, ugh, I don't understand. But, yeah.
Right. But Bobo definitely changed.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Rosita.
we haven't seen that in Rosita yet.
Right.
Well, we won't because we like Rosita.
I do like Rosita.
I do too.
Although when Doc came down, he made a real show of kissing her, too.
Yes. Which was
Totally opposite from last week.
exactly.
I don't know, Doc.
And a conversation he's about to have with Wynonna. Because her and Doc are going through Nicole's home looking for clues that can hopefully lead them to Mercedes. And of course, Wynonna confronts Doc regarding Rosita. And he knew, but of course he wasn't going to tell Wynonna about Rosita being a revenant.
But she's
And
been
why not?
super helpful.
Yes, she has. She saved dolls and,
Ah,
yeah, doing everything she can.
yes.
Now, Doc notices some fresh blood pulled on the floor, and a sheriff's hat is hanging on the hat stand. They hear a noise in the closet. They pull their guns, open the door, and it's just Calamity Jane, Nicole's cat.
I love the name, though.
Yes. And they realize that Mercedes has taken Nedley.
I mean, it's got to be Mercedes. Who else? Why would Beth show up at Nicole's house?
Right. Yeah, it had to be Mercedes because Beth is too worried about working on Waverly. So we see that Mercedes has Nedley trapped in a barn and is already immersed in her methods of torture. She believes Clutie led her to him and that our Nedley has the third seal because he's lost.
Right. Now, did she have some weird thing happening to her head?
It sure seemed that way.
Because at first when I seen it, I thought it was like, you know those like weird little, not exactly hats that
Yeah.
were like pinned in people's hair. But then as the scene played, I'm like, is that like her head or something? It looked weird.
Right. And I think that, yeah, she got a pretty good whooping from Waverly in those sticks. So
Okay.
I think that was part of the damage that Waverly inflicted on her.
Okay.
Or they're getting closer and closer to running out of time to release Clutie.
Okay, because I was thinking like it looked like her head split or it's like almost like peeling apart there.
Right.
Okay. I'm glad it wasn't just me, but yeah, I thought it was one of those weird little like pinned in kind of hair things at first, and then the more I watched it, I'm like, no, because that's not even cute. That looks funky. It looks moldy.
Yeah. But of course, our sheriff is remaining steadfast in his efforts to keep everything a secret, and he launches a string of comebacks at the widow that are classic Nedley.
Oh, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was definitely the most awesome character of the episode because he took everything that Mercedes was dishing out and directed it right back at her.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Even after she starts this, go ahead, because I was cringing.
Right, because she's just getting frustrated as all get out and says, okay, we're taking it to the next level. and she pushes one of Nedley's fingers all the way back, breaking it. And Nedley screams, and Mercedes says, "We'll do it to every finger and toe." And you go,
yeah, I was like, oh God. It was cringing, and I'm like, that hurts, and I'm not there.
right.
Yeah, all right. I got to get past that.
Right. So, yeah, and this next section is not any easier to take. As we get to back to the police station, Rosita's the first to arrive there to work with Jeremy. And she willingly takes a syringe filled with whatever Jeremy has in terms of a cure and injects herself with it. While Jeremy's going, what the?
Right.
What the?
Because she's like, no, I'm body. And he's like, nobody wants your body.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, Doc might argue.
All right. We know where your sexuality lies.
I honestly think Jeremy is more like asexual. That he's just like, he notices nothing, but he's got like major man crush on Doc.
Right.
But it's like Doc and Wynonna.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I think he's just like, oh, his eyes and her hair. Oh my gosh. I just feel like he doesn't notice. Because he didn't notice when Waverly was flirting with him way back when we first meet him.
Right. Exactly.
I just think he's just is like kind of asexual, doesn't notice anything beyond science. And
very possible.
Wynonna's hair and Doc's eyes, I guess.
And of course she informs him she isn't human and she can only die by Peacemaker anyway. And Jeremy sees her eyes flash red in pure shock, not expecting that twist. Which, yes, he was not expecting that at all.
I don't understand how he didn't know this, but he was like so keen with knowing Wynonna was pregnant and everything else that's going on.
Right.
I don't know.
Probably hasn't. I mean,
well,
yeah, they worked
with
together on Doll's cure, but...
That makes sense. Like, he doesn't really work close with her.
Right. Or hasn't yet.
Yeah.
But of course, Waverly arrives with dolls, and she rushes over to Rosita and pulls out the needle.
And then Dolls decides to step up.
Yeah. He's going to be the next guinea pig, and he takes a syringe in the arm, and we hear nothing but screams.
I'm sure there were some cuss words.
Oh, I'm sure there was too.
Yeah.
But Waverly leaves them to their science. Ugh. Both Dolls and Rosita are definitely taking one for the team.
God, it was painful to watch those things happen.
Yes.
And more painful with what happens next.
Yes. We feel the sands in the hourglass running out quickly as Waverly spots someone very familiar waltzing about the hospital. She thinks it's the blacksmith back from the dead, but no, it's her sister Greta. Who knew?
Yeah, right.
That was a what moment.
Right.
And Waverly tries desperately to get the Iron Witch to help save Nicole. And you go, Waverly, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Especially...
Not a witch.
Well, especially when she names her price. Because she left it so vague.
Yes.
When she's just like, okay, here's the spell, I'm gonna write down, this is what you seek. If you take this, you have to give me whatever I want.
Right. And that could be anything. That could be the baby.
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
And I'm like, no, you don't just say yes, yes, yes. Have you never read a fairy tale?
You've read enough of those, Waverly. You know those don't end well.
Right. Especially when Waverly's like, yes. Takes the paper. I'm like, oh my God, you didn't even try to negotiate.
Right. Nothing. Just agreed.
Yeah, I immediately thought she was going to ask for the baby. And of course, I'm going back to what we've seen again in some of our other shows, like The Magician.
Yes.
I was like, oh crap, what's going to happen? She's going to take the baby. It's going to be a weird interdimensional thing. And, my mind's going like, 100 miles an hour this way. And, as Waverly's running the other way, I didn't understand why Waverly... okay, let me rewind that. I understand Waverly was upset and desperate.
Right.
But when she figured everything out, because she goes to the police station and finds Doc's ring in Nedley's coffee cup, and suddenly it's like light bulb moment for her.
Exactly.
Why she continued.
Yes, absolutely.
Knowing ultimately what breaking that third seal is going to bring.
Yes.
Again, Waverly, I love ya, but I wanted to slap ya.
Yeah, that was quite the horrible decision.
Right.
Well, it's time to save Nedley, so Doc and Wynonna are outside the large barn, and we kind of get the little conversation between Doc and Wynonna where kind of sounds like Doc wouldn't mind doing it again. And it was like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah, their little back and forth there was...
Yeah, about the pregnancy was, okay. But they do see the barn where they figure Nedley and Mercedes are, and Doc makes Wynonna promise to stay in the truck.
Yeah, I love it. She's like, fine, I'll stay firmly in the driver's seat. I thought she meant like, I'm taking control.
Right, which basically she did.
But she really did mean in the driver's seat.
Right, because they drive the truck through the barn.
Right.
And slams into Mercedes, which was awesome.
It was great, and I thought that was like the best thing ever because she goes flying, and I was like, holy cow, what just happened?
And Doc gets out of the passenger side and starts firing one bullet after the other, just pelting Mercedes.
Oh, that was great, and then she's just all snotty, like, you can't kill me. Whoa!
Right. So, of course, Wynonna jumps out of the driver's side and go,
remember what you're doing. Remember why you're there.
Exactly. Don't make another real stupid mistake like your sister did.
That she doesn't know about yet.
Right. Then shoots her with Peacemaker, which isn't enough to kill her, but is enough to at least cause her some pain.
Yeah, because doesn't she shoot her in, like, the knee?
Yes.
It just seems painful anyway.
Yes. Extremely painful. So Wynonna releases Nedley and praises him for his resolve, of course, and vows to return to the police station to pick up the ring once Jeremy creates a cure. Wynonna and Doc wheel in a tied up and muzzled Mercedes. Jerry retrieves a sample of her venom from her mouth, which was good to see her being tortured for once.
Well, didn't Wynonna kind of go in for that? She's like, I got this.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Right. Yeah. Wynonna wanted a little revenge for Mercedes, I think.
Yeah.
And so Jeremy has everything he needs for a cure. And here's where things go upside down so quickly.
Oh, yes. And, oh, God, my heart hurt.
Yeah. We had what the what. Wynonna skips down the hallway of the hospital just as happy as she can be. She's got the cure, and she's jovial as she turns into Nicole's room and then goes, what the what? Because Nicole's sitting there awake, upright, and completely healthy.
Yeah, everything looked great. Why?
Yeah. Wynonna suspects something is wrong. Well, yeah. However, just when she broaches the subject to Waves, she splits.
I was like, she got up and took off pretty fast.
Yeah, that out of hell fast.
Yeah.
We see Beth approaching the ruins of the church with Doc's ring, ready to unleash her terror of a husband on the world. And you go, no!
Now this is where things get a little wibbly wobbly, and I will ask you after you talk about the next moment.
All right, Greta shows up at Shorty, where our forlorn Waverly sits by herself at the bar. Waverly knows that Wynonna won't forgive her for giving up the seal, and Greta is back for her end of the bargain. So, of course, Wave is not only gave up the seal to Beth, but now she's got to give up something else. And you go, oh, this is just not good.
Right.
And, of course, Greta goes right to the trophy that summoned the demons from earlier in the season.
Why would they leave that just out?
Exactly. But, of course, why would Nedley leave the seal in his coffee cup?
True.
So, as far as security goes, they're all lacking in the tightness of their security. That's for darn sure. Mm-hmm. Waverly warns her against it, but Greta brushes it off and begins chanting in foreign tongues. this is not going to be good.
Right? I'm like, this is bad. This is bad.
Yeah. Doc arrives and sees what's going on, and he hears Greta now chanting in German and yells at the witch to stop what she's doing. He reaches out and touches the trophy and disappears.
And I was like, what just happened?
Exactly. You go, this is not good.
No.
We cut to Wynonna chatting with Dolls back at the police station. Wynonna is furious at her sister. Dolls pulls out the special plate that Ewan gave him, and when Wynonna is about to comment more, she vanishes.
And I think I yelled again, like, what is going on?
Yeah, yes, this is bad.
Well, you do hear Greta say Wynonna Earp's name.
Yes. And Waverly begs Greta to stop, that she takes back her request. Greta reveals that she's on a path of vengeance. They killed her sister, so now it's time for our purgatory gang to suffer.
Which makes no sense because we're not the only ones suffering.
No. And was it really Wynonna's fault that her sister was killed? No, that was Constant Clooney that killed her sister. So one of these Earp sisters will disappear while the other must live with it. Hence why Wynonna vanished. Doc was collateral damage, unfortunately, probably just by touching the damn trophy. Then after Greta leaves, Waverly's outfit magically changes to her shorties ensemble. Jeremy bustles in, and the two don't even know who Wynonna Earp is. Instead, they have a wedding to plan. What?
Okay, and now this is where all my questions happen. Because the very last scene is Doc back in the well.
Right.
So, here's my question. If the Greta, see, and it's weird, and this is all wibbly wobbly here. If Greta makes the wish on the trophy, that would not have been there had Wynonna not been alive. How did the wish ever come true, first of all? If Doc is back at the bottom of the well, then doesn't he still have his ring, which is the seal? How is Jeremy there and Doc there? Because Doc is like looking at the plate, talking to Wynonna, and then Wynonna's gone. He just picks up the plate, puts it back in the case.
Right.
So how is all of this happening if Wynonna was never there? Because the heir has not come to fruition yet. Unless somehow we're in the future, because if Waverly's supposed to be the heir, she has to be a certain age.
Right.
In which case, could it be far enough where Greta would be getting her comeuppance in regards to the magic demon in the trophy?
Right. That, not yet, because that was 10 years.
Oh yeah, because Waverly wasn't that far off.
Right. So
those are all of my questions.
Right. And it definitely gets wibbly wobbly on us.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I'm like, wait, how is this happening? Because we had a line, unless there's supposed to be some kind of other heir there.
Right. Or, well, wasn't Black Badge there when Wynonna came into town, when she arrived?
No, they didn't come till after.
Okay.
I swear they didn't come till after.
All right. But they still didn't know that the heir was there.
Yes.
So, yes, they knew that there was trouble. They show up in town. I guess you can almost say that, yeah, they got Waverly involved instead of Wynonna, and that somehow brought Jeremy into town.
That mean Nicole's gone too?
No, I don't think so. I think Nicole will be there as well. I think we've just rewritten the last year with Wynonna and Doc there. Because it's really not, Greta says one of the Earp sisters will disappear while the other one must live with it. Well, no.
But she doesn't remember.
Waverly's not living with it right now. She doesn't remember having Wynonna as a sister.
Right. So that's why we definitely have to wait for the answers for the next episode.
Oh, no joke.
So this one's just crazy, and I have a lot of questions. Hopefully they'll be answered by the end of the next episode. Well, I guess we'll see.
Right. And I definitely tweeted all the showrunners of our shows this week, thanking them for probably what will, in my mind, is the greatest 3 hours of television ever.
This was great. Yeah, this weekend, this was amazing.
Just twists and turns in every episode that you didn't see coming. And oh my God, it was so awesome.
It was. So we want to know what you guys think. So shoot us emails. We have our new emails. You can shoot us at Sean@fangirlzone.com or Steve@fangirlzone.com. You can always send it to fangirlzonepodcast@gmail.com. The new website is working. It's slow, but it's working. It's taking me a while, so I apologize. But fangirlzone.com is up and running. You can also find our contacts over there, so you can tweet with Steve and I. And like I said, emails. Let us know what you think. Am I the only one that had all these questions? I don't think so. So make sure you rate and review us on every platform that you're finding us on. Good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends. We do hope you're enjoying the podcast. And we hope that you're getting a whole lot more people involved in Wynonna Earp because it's crazy. So for this...
How we're going to resolve this in 2 episodes.
Oh my gosh. I think it's going to go over. But for this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I am Sean, Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, as Ridley once said. And Waverly, get away from her, you bitch. Pick on someone your own size.
And until next time.